By contrast, in Rwanda, until today, probably, it is a faux pas, it's a taboo. You don't ask people at that question. You don't even go near it. You don't touch it about ethnicity. Everyone, all the effort of peace building on policy level in Rwanda is about asserting the national identity. We are all Rwandans. There is nothing like Hutu or Tutsi. Of course, there can be critics of this, and there will be critics about how really this is happening on the ground. That's a whole other story, but definitely the declared policy and the effort made in Rwanda is the total opposite of the effort made in Burundi. One is emphasizing the ethnic identity and the pride in that and the peaceful coexistence. The other one is emphasizing the supra identity of being Rwandan above anything else. I cannot say one is better than the other, but all I can say is at the policy level, it is critical that we choose a direction and to follow through with it, and then to test it via evaluation and see, is it achieving what we want or not? That's how we can use policy actually in order to try to achieve a sustainable peace. And again, if you want to see more information about that story, click on that link, of course. In terms of institutions, and that was addressed very nicely and eloquently by the previous speaker about climate change issues. And again, I had the chance to see firsthand some of the work that was done in Darfur and Kordofan in West Sudan about issues related to climate change and natural resource scarcity and conflicts over natural resources. And here, talking about institutions and how they can work together. The program I saw that was led by UN Environment was a great example of how you bring different institutions to work together. Government was involved, of course. Civil society was involved. Local governances and traditional leaders were involved. The average person, of course, from the communities was involved, with the deliberate effort to have equal participation of farmers and pastoralists and other community members, and with even more deliberate effort to engage women. The project relied heavily on the notion of enlightened self-interest. In other words, how can we get everyone involved to achieve what they need to achieve for their livelihood? Getting more water, getting whatever they need to for their animals, or for their cultivation and for their farms, or whatever it is, or to build new skills in order to earn living. All this can be achieved by actually collaborating and cooperating with the otherwise you consider to be your enemy. The same person that otherwise you thought you have to fight them to get your share of water, you can actually now get more of this water, and he or she will get also more water via the institutional collaboration of the different actors and the developing committees that forced people to sit together and make good decisions together to work and achieve what they want, not by fighting, but by actually resorting to dialogue and to negotiations. The project was amazing in actually sustaining peace. I have to say that measuring sustainability can be checked at this time now, because there are some bad news coming from Darfur and that part of the world for the last few months. I am praying that at least the area where I saw this project implemented, that they are able to sustain the peace that they have developed the hard way for the last 4 or 5 years. And it will be shame if they have deteriorated because of the changes that happened in that country in the last couple of years. However, when we look at where those communities were before that project and look at where they have been for the last 3 or 4 years, it was impressive indeed, impressive to see those women and men and how they improved their livelihood and how they achieved peace with each other. And again, I encourage you to look at that link and to see more about that story. In terms of partnerships, also, I saw in Burundi an amazing story of a program that was conducted after the war in 1994. As you probably know, in that war, many people had to flee their own homes and villages after men were killed and homes were burned down. And all this led to large numbers of people, especially women and children, had to flee their homes. There was no homes. The homes were burned down. and they stayed in internally displaced camps for several years, until through partnerships between civil society and government and women organizations and businesses and others and international organizations, they started to arrange to bring some of those women back to meet with the women who stayed in the village. And imagine how difficult that would be to bring women who their loved ones were killed, and now to see that the same people who were implicated in the destruction of their homes and the killing of their family, to have to sit together and to think of a future where all of us will live together. And they did this, of course, through very careful processes of trauma healing and bringing the community together, but leading to what? Leading to rebuilding those homes that were burned down. And it was the same women, the women who left and the women who stayed, who would take every piece of stone and the brick to build the homes back, to restore peace, and to bring those people who had to leave their homes to come back and resettle in their own homes. The idea was that if you get all those women from both sides to rebuild those homes, then it would be very difficult in the future for any of them to think that we would burn down those homes again. And truly, this project, via proper partnerships and getting the appropriate resources to rebuild homes, managed to actually restore peace and to bring harmony back. And again, if you look at the link, you will see some of the pictures of those women and children who actually went back to their own homes that were rebuilt after they were destroyed. It was for me a great example to see on the ground of partnerships that have been successful.